back to the BS. But nah, what's up, everybody? We back again for another Thursday. Of course, y'all know who I am, Eric Shelton. One time, one time Jordan Cup champion, and on the other side we got two-time Jamal Williams over there. We actually decided to take a new direction this week. We got a new pro joining us, Classic Physique, who will be making his debut at No Gear Classic. So we decided to bring him on, introduce him to, of course, our followers, kind of hear about his prep, see what we got going on, and who knows, you can be next potentially, depending on what show you're doing, of course. Just kind of trying to spin things and get out some content. So if you haven't, like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube page. And also, if you have not followed our new Let's Talk About It page, 910 on IG, that's hopefully where we can stream this moving forward. We're not going to stream from our personal pages. We're going to try to stream from there as soon as they give us the capability of doing that. But let's not prolong this anymore. We're going to bring Dylan to the stage.
Yo,
How's it going?
yo,
Yo, what's up?
what's up, big dog?
Not much, man. I can't call it.
So, Dylan, man, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. For the people that don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Yeah, so what's up, everybody? I go by Dylan. That's my name. You can find me on Instagram as I am Dylan93. I like to consider myself new to the, bodybuilding world, even though this, like you guys mentioned, it's gonna be my pro debut. So realistically, this only be my third show ever done. So I still, even though I'm going to compete as a pro, I'm still learning. So that's basically, the gist of it, of everything. And we'll see where things turn to. So
Nice. So I'm gonna hop right into questions and kind of figure out a little bit more about you. So what show did you go pro at, and when did you go pro?
yeah, so I went pro at actually it was No Gear Classic. And
Okay.
I did that, and I did that in 2022. So I always been in the gym since I would say probably back like 2011 is where I really started playing around. And I honestly didn't get serious with bodybuilding probably until like 2020, 2021, around that time frame. And I had some buddies that was like, hey, man, you ever thought about competing, this and that, third? But, they was over on the NPC side of the house. So I was like, nah, I never really have. I just, enjoy being in the gym and meeting people, talking with people, this and that, and the third. And I started getting interested in Instagram and following the bodybuilding industry, this and that, and the third. And I started realizing like, hey, there's natural side of bodybuilding. I honestly didn't know about it. And from there, that's when I kind of reached out and then, I started asking a couple people like, hey, like, how do you do this? Or who is this? Or whatever the case may be, and try to reach out for coaches and stuff like that. And that's kind of where I linked in with my coach, which is Ryan Sullivan. And from there, I told him, I was like, hey, this is who I am. This is how I look. I don't know much other than, how to pick up heavy things and put them down. I had no structure, right? Like you couldn't tell me what a macro was. I didn't know what that was. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, how do we get started? And from there, he was like, I don't mind being your coach. This is my protocol, this and that, third. And we was on the same page with everything. And he was like, at a minimum, let me go to like a little off season with you to kind of learn who you are. You learn who I am, kind of get the structure. And from there, all right, cool. So it took us up into 2022, which is where I decided, I was like, all right, well, 2022, let's try to find a show. So I'm originally from North Carolina. So I was like, all right, well, my family was interested and they wanted to be a part of it as well. So I was like, okay, there's a show in North Carolina. So I told them, I was like, hey, let's go check this one out. And just so happened, that's what I did. Went there and went pro. And from that point on, it just been like, hey, and I told them, when we turned pro in 2022, I told us like, look, I got it. It happened. Whatever case, me personally, I don't feel like I looked my best. No, by all means, I didn't. And sometimes it comes down to who looks the best at the show when they show up on that day. So I was like, hey, versus just jumping right into the pro debut that year, I was like, let's actually get serious with this and take a real off season and build, and then come back, which where we're at now, in 2024, and see what happens. And that's kind of where we're at. So.
Absolutely. So if I'm not mistaken, you started off in bodybuilding, correct?
I did.
So what made you want to transition to the classic world, coming from bodybuilding? from the you was with INBF, right?
Yeah, so realistically, my coach, like he was up north, so he did a lot of like INBF shows. So really when we did No Gear Classic actually was just like a filler show for us, just to kind of get me on stage for the first time, just to fill it out and see how it was. And with INBF, WNBF, they don't offer classic. So when I originally reached out to him, I told him like, hey, I have always been interested in classic, this and that 30. He was like, well, if you do this, or INBF, they don't offer that division. So that's why I stepped into bodybuilding. But I noticed too with INBF, especially when it comes to bodybuilding, there's not a lot of competition in it. And the problem with it is, you may do 6 or 7 shows and be one of 3 people that's there. And it's not going to qualify you to get the pro card to go compete with where all the pros are. So I told him, we really thought about it real hard. And I was like, cool, look, at the end of the day, I was like, man, OCB is growing. I said, all the competition in OCB. I said, what's your thoughts on, switching over to OCB, like just keeping that as the main focus, because that's where all the competition going to, and sticking with classic. And he was like, I think honestly you'd be a better fit in that. So that's where we're at. So we're going to try to chase that horse and see what happens with it.
All right.
How far you plan on chasing?
So I mean, I'm still young in the game. So honestly, my wife asked me the same thing, and my friends do as well. And I think I'm gonna do it until I get bored with it. Like I have fun, you know what I mean? I'm a people's person, so I like getting out, meeting people, and at the end of the day, like whenever I stop having fun, that's when I'll end it. And right now, there's nowhere in the near future, so I can't even tell you like, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. I'm just gonna keep doing it until I can.
Absolutely.
We had a question the other day that we didn't get around to answering, but I think you'll be the perfect person to answer this question for us. So we were asked, and I think it's been a very long time. I don't know what happened to Jamal, but it's been a very long time since we've been amateurs. So someone asked us, is the preparation portion any different from amateurs to pros? Jamal, you're back. So, but was your preparation for no gear any different than your amateur show going into no gear?
I would say it's like a 2-part answer to that. Mindset, I think mindset wise, like you have a better understanding as a pro is what it takes. But as far as the preparation, I don't think at any level it gets any easier. Like mentally, like, I don't think like, now that you're a pro that is easy. Nah, I think it's hard regardless. I think it takes a lot of discipline and consistency in order to, fulfill it. And I tell people that all the time. People at work, they looking at me like, hey, we're going out to lunch, we're doing this and the third. I'm like, hey, I can't go. And they like, man, I can't do it. And I was like, depending on how you see it, it's 2 ways, right? You either, it's self-care or, or it's a form of discipline. And it shows, some type of commitment too, as well. So I applaud the people that can stick to it and do it. Because there's a lot of people that can't, and not, me being military, a lot of people, they hit they hit that hard wall, and next thing you know, they give up. So being able to push through something, that's a mental thing. So it helps you grow individually too.
Yeah, and I'm about to say, I'm gonna piggyback on the back of that answer because I know we hear a lot of people who say they can't do it, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say like 100% agree because we all have the friends who say I can't never bodybuild. I think it's definitely a choice. Like people choose not to do what we do, just because it is hard, and maybe they just don't have that why, Like we find a why and we stick to it, and their why just may not be bodybuilding, but the fact that people saying that they can't do it, and me and Jamal said it, bodybuilding can be for anybody, right? Or hypothetically, it just depends on how well you want to do in it. So that's the main thing I say about the whole, like, because trust me, I got friends, I got family. I can't see how you do that. I can't see how you do this. And I'm like, no, you definitely can. It's a choice, though.
Absolutely.
What you got, Jamal?
What I got?
What you got?
Am I supposed to answer the question you asked him?
No, I thought you had another topic.
Oh, I do. Actually, I do.
Right.
Hey, so Dylan, me and Eric did a live about this. I talked about this about people that post during prep and people that don't post during prep.
Okay.
Let's just say that you're not shy about posting during your prep. Like you tag no gear and everything. How confident are you going into the show next week, man? This is your like you said, this is your pro debut. I'm pretty sure you know linked up with some of the people that's doing the show also. That's how Instagram works. People see you posting, hey man, you doing this show? So like, how confident are you just going to the show next week, man?
Man, to be honest, I'm real confident, and not confident like in like a non-humble way, but like in a humble way, right? Like I said earlier, I'm a people's person, so I like networking. You know, there's nothing, I'm not shy about myself or anything like that. So at the end of the day, what I did learn, you know, as like while I was an amateur, is like you're gonna show up how you're gonna show up regardless. So as far as not posting or hiding away, like I don't understand the big secret about that. I don't get it. So there's no secret when it comes to me. You see what you see, right? So it's like I mean, as far as bodybuilding as itself, I think too, like, you know, being confident is part of that. Because you can look the best and get up there and be shy and mess everything completely up. So as far as like me being confident going to the show, I feel really good, to be honest with you. And I have talked to a couple people, because you're right, I do tag no gear. And you know, some people reach out and I reach out to people as well. And that's just who I am as a person, you know. Not like on no beef or anything like that, but it's just like, hey, yeah, man, you look good too, whatever the case may be. And like I said, I'm still learning. So, hey, I like meeting people. I want to see, you know, I'll link up, whatever. Just like, you know, with Jamal, you know, I reached out to you. We had a couple of workout sessions and everything. I'm always picking people's brains. So.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord,
so
he about to be petty as shit. Yeah, he about to be petty. Yeah, nah, you did, but Eric about to be petty right now.
So you spoke on, you know, getting to know people, and you mentioned hanging out with my guy over here, Jamal, right? So
yeah,
you know, we had to sit face to face last year with people we were competing against at the end of the week, right? Like everybody we brought on was going to compete against. So how does it feel to be on screen with somebody who, quote unquote, is doing the no gear? Like how does that feel? Like this is your competition.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to be honest, like, and not even trying to be like, I don't even know the right word for it, but
speak your shit, man.
Yeah.
Don't hold nothing back, man. Speak your shit, dog.
Yeah, you know, I don't stray away from anything. You know, I'm with it. Again, like I told Jamal multiple times, like, hey, one thing that made me super happy was to see when No Gear posted, like, hey, we got this many pros showing up. Like, some people get nervous and some people start backing out. Not me. I'm with that. Like, that's why I told him, I said, I want the biggest people, the best people. I want them there. And I want them there, one, for me, because I need to know how I stack up with them. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what am I measuring myself off of? I can measure myself every day and be like, oh, I'm the greatest thing is sliced bread. But at the end of the day, like, if I ain't comparing it to nothing, then that does me no good. So I want Jamal there.
And people thought it was the best thing until sliced bread and Hawaiian rolls came out and bagels came out, and people left that sliced bread alone.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, man. I think, and to be honest with you too, in the most humble way possible, I think the best way to have a pro debut show is to have as many competitors, you know, and not just anybody, but some really great talent to be there, to know where you're at. So,
100%.
Absolutely. All right, so your coach, he also coached the 2023 Yorton Cup figure winner, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So have you got any kind of advice from her, man?
Yes, I talked to Edna, like, you know, we talked through Instagram. We haven't actually met in person.
Okay. We
haven't met in person yet. But I'm pretty sure we probably, you know, gonna cross paths this season, hopefully. And we will meet in person. But at the end of the day, we always, you know, sending little motivational things, telling each other, you know, keep going, keep driving, this and that and third. But outside of that, not so much. I do a pretty good job talking with my coach, though, as far as like, hey, where we at? Like, and one thing I will say, he's brutally honest, and that's what I think a lot of people need, and a lot of people are actually scared of. Not me. I need to know what it is. Like, hey, if this sucks, tell me it sucks. Because if you don't, I'm gonna think it's good. So I'm looking forward to
it. Okay. Well, I want you to, I guess, if you have anything, or first and foremost, we want to, you know, wish you good luck for next week. But do you want to leave followers with anything, of course, where to follow your journey, especially when you compete next week? You can say your Instagram again. or any words of encouragement to any amateurs that we have that may be competing at No Gear or competing later on?
Yeah, man. I would say, man, I actually posted this little quote today. And I would say the impossible didn't seem possible until it was done, right? And I think a lot of times, a lot of people are just scared to get started. And at the end of the day, you just got to get started with it, right? Everybody starts from somewhere. So if you always had aspirations of, oh, maybe I'm interested in doing this, then just reach out to somebody and do it. And a lot of times, too, what I have seen, and you hear this all the time, you may see it on Instagram, this and that third, is like the gym bias. They're like, oh, all bodybuilders are assholes, they're negative, this and that third. But a lot of bodybuilding, I would say, especially on the natural side of the house, they're willing to talk to you. You know, hey, like, this is what I'm doing, this is what you need to do, da, 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 whatever the case may be. So if you're one of these people watching live right now that just been scared or afraid to approach somebody, maybe approach them and see how that conversation goes, and maybe that inspires you to do it. But yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, be sure to follow me. I'm gonna be posting next week as well. I'm gonna try to do the backstage thing. I like that. Like I like the camaraderie and stuff. I want to meet new people. So if people watching this live gonna be there, don't be afraid to come up and like, oh, what's up? I seen you, da da da. I'm willing to meet anybody and everybody, right? And my name is who I am. I don't try to stray from anybody. That's why my Instagram is I am Dylan, because that's who I am. Right? I don't try to be nobody but me. So
bro, why you being so nice on this live? Because before we hopped on, when we was backstage, you was telling us how you about to run through all these classic guys. Now you want to try to come in here and be Mr. Humble. Bro, that is crazy to me. That is crazy.
Look, sometimes you can't. So look, if I talk all my junk, then people may try to pull out. I need to make sure we have at least 15 people on this stage.
Ooh. Okay. Hey, we gonna hit it on that.
Hey, look, Dylan. The funny thing is, man, I was just looking behind me, trying to decide where I'm gonna put my shield at. I don't got no room.
Well, good thing it ain't going to your house, so you ain't gotta worry about that.
Hey, just like that. Hey, y'all. Once again, if you can follow our Let's Talk About It page, we will be going live from that page and not our independent pages. And also follow us on YouTube. That's where the replays will be. But until next time, we see y'all.
Man, appreciate y'all having me.